Hello everyone. Hi. Welcome to the new channel. This is me, I guess. We're doing it with just me now. So, yeah. Uh, we're just gonna go straight into this. Don't really have any evidence on this channel yet. I might get that eventually, though. We'll see. We'll see. But, yeah. Full Angry Birds Timeline, 2024 edition. Let's just jump right into it. There we go. So, our timeline begins. I believe the first event is the Melody comic. Now, Melody is born into the world from her parents, most likely, obviously, and at an early age discovers that she has singing powers. Like, she can sing and suck up things, however that works. Doesn't matter. So, she decides to go on tour to let everyone know. Sounds dangerous, but hey, you do you, girl. uh, Now, one of the islands she goes to, the pigs find out about the concert, and the pigs there find out not only about the cool singing powers, but also about the birds' eggs, and how tasty they are, and how the king would love them. And so, Melody vows, with another bird we'll get to eventually. I forgot to update this slide, I'm sorry. To stop the pigs from ever stealing the birds' eggs, because that's a little messed up, you know? And war begins. So, yeah, Melody and Joe and a bunch of the other birds, presumably. This is some ancient war between birds and pigs that happened a long time ago. Okay, the birds even hide their eggs, trying to prevent them getting eaten, which ends up turning them into the golden eggs. That's honestly the best explanation I can give for those right now. Uh, until more evidence comes out about what the golden eggs actually are, that's my best explanation for them. Is they're ancient eggs from the war that slowly turn golden from bad memories or something. Who knows? Okay, but the pigs, believe it or not, actually end up being the winners of this war. Despite being like super weak and stuff, I think they actually win the war this time around. And yeah, the birds are essentially all banished to what would later become Eagle Island, because, they all evolve into the Eagles from there. Kids franchise, can't have them all die for them to all go extinct, necessarily, so. And, yeah, the only birds that don't evolve are Melody and Joe, who presumably stay behind to watch the pigs or something. I don't know. How they managed to avoid capture all these years, I could never tell you. Right, but anyway, 1980 presumably is when I'm guessing that Melody and Joe are like, okay, we gotta continue our species. We gotta keep going. So they have a kid. His name is Red. And you all know who he is by now. You know his name, you know his face, you know how Rovio completely screwed this guy over. I'm so sorry, but whatever. Whatever. That's all there is here. Now, here's the thing. If they want to continue their species the natural way, Red's gonna have to get involved with some, let's just say some medieval stuff. So, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at the Habsburgs. But they have a solution. Scientifically, genetically engineer birds. Look, you try coming up with an explanation for all of this, okay? Anyway, the group of birds they create are the Stella flock. Stella, Poppy, Luca, Willio, Dahlia, and Gale. And they, alongside Red, are all sent to Golden Island, where they'll all grow up together and become friends and hopefully continue their species without the pigs knowing. Yeah, somehow the pigs just have no idea about Golden Island for the longest time. Anyway, eventually, Red's gotta grow up. And upon growing up, he wants to see the world or something. So, the Stella Flock themselves do a little bit of experimenting with their origins and stuff, I believe, and create the Classic Flock, where all these guys at the bottom you all know and love from the classic games and everything. Most of them are presumably dead by now, at least in terms of like how much Royo cares about them, but whatever, it's fine. And so, Red and the Classic Flock all head off Piggy Island. I don't think necessarily Piggy Island specifically, but I mean it could be, but somewhere other than Golden Island, just to see what all is out there. And, well, this somehow ends up leading the pigs to discover Golden Island. And, well, they try and put a tiara crown on the island there for probably Handsome Pig to find, would be my best guess, but Gale ends up finding the tiara instead. And ends up causing her to become mad with power. She then finds out about golden eggs and how they can make her rich and powerful and stuff. And so she wants to try and get them, and so Stella Flock makes it their mission to stop her from doing exactly that. Just the events of the Angry Birds Stella series, because the game is certainly not finished. And also, I think a book that people found recently pretty much confirms that's the story of Stella, so points for me, baby! Alright. Anyway, around the same time is when Angry Birds Reloaded takes place, at least the Bird and Piggy Island parts of it. I don't know how to explain the Bird Island part just yet, but yeah, the Classic Flock arrives on Piggy Island, as evidenced by the slingshot boat in the background. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into evidence right now. This is just straight up timeline. Matilda and Terrence actually get married at one point, and they have the eggs. Like, the eggs from the games we have to save that presumably contain people from a show no one cares about, unfortunately, but hey, apparently that's ambiguous enough to our own imagination, like a placeholder or something. I don't know. I'll wait for the next group of comics to come out to figure out what it all means from there. Anyway, the pigs find out about the eggs the birds have and steal them. That's their whole character and everything. And so the birds start their entire life mission: get the eggs back. And thus, history repeats itself and a new war is started. Yay! And then an alien shows up. So yeah, meanwhile, in a completely different universe, just go with it. It's Angry Birds, who cares? I care, obviously, but like, just go with it. A Space Leonard, yes, a space alternate universe variant of Leonard, and some space villain named Hector Porco. Sorry, so I got a bit of a cough. They find out about Icebird's Extoroid and his time travel powers and stuff, because it can do that, I think. Go watch Booze and Bubbles. Head on over there real quick. We'll cross-reference the two channels all the time. You're not gonna forget it. I hope. Anyway. Yeah, Icebird's Extoroid's time travel powers. He accidentally used it to create a vast multiverse. And the pigs find out about this power and realize they can use it to take over the world. Whether it's their world or all worlds, who knows, who cares, but they attempt to steal the Extoroid from Icebird. And so, naturally, he hops on over to the Classic Universe to ask them for help, and they're like, yeah, sure, why not? It's not like we got anything better to do other than, like, protect our eggs or something. They just kind of get roped into all this for whatever reason. They actually steal the eggs. That's why I just remembered they do that in the Reloaded. Anyway, together the Angry Birds, nice birds, stop the pigs playing together, and defeat them at Mirror World Danger Zone. Absolute peak. If I were to ever do a ranking of Reloaded, which I'm probably not going to do just because I've never actually played those episodes, because I don't have money for them right now, Danger Zone would just immediately go number 1. That's how peak it is. Just go watch gameplay or something. I don't know. Chances are you've already seen it, though, so who cares? Anyway. Meanwhile, while all that was happening, yeah, the birds are gone. Melanie and Joe find out the birds are gone. They're like, well, shoot, wanna try for another? And thus, Ruby is born. Alongside a bunch of other birds, being Bubbles, Hal, and Silver, most likely. And when Red shows up, he and Silver start to fall in love, because Angry Birds Movie 2 adaptation. Speaking of Angry Birds Movie 2 adaptation, that's basically what happens next. The Eagle Island section of Angry Birds Reloaded. The Eagles show up to destroy Piggy Island, because reasons, who cares? The birds and the pigs team up to defeat the eagles, and now they're all friends. Yay! This is stupid. I don't like Angry Birds Movie 2. I hate how it's canonically in the games. I mean, it barely has any effect on the timeline, but, like, I still feel like I should mention it just because it's a major part of one of the better Angry Birds games right now. So. Anyway, then Leonard's son shows up. Like I said, things just happen. Just go with it. Yeah, so Leonard has a son. His name's Smooth Cheeks. And, let's just say he just can't wait to be king. So, yeah, when he does, things aren't looking good. Birds and pigs were friends, right? Well, guess what? Now they're not, because this guy showed up, and he was like, screw it, I'm hungry, I want eggs. I'm tired of eating grass all the time. I want to be king so I can eat eggs. And so, pretty much ends the friendship between the birds and the pigs. And pretty much does all kinds of crazy stuff. He tries to capture all the birds and attempt to get all their eggs and stuff. Tony, who got created at one point that I forgot to mention about, presumably in the... Yeah, it was when the rest of the flock, Ruby, Hal, Bubbles, Silver, rather, that's when they were all created. Tony was created there too. I forgot to mention that because he's in Reloaded, so it makes sense. Anyway, like I said, Tony escapes to Finland somehow. Little Santa Claus, very smart. That's not even that's barely even speculation, by the way. That's just an easy inference. Anyway. And Stella meets up with the main flock, by the way, too. And Silver got captured, and now Red's all sad, but, like, he doesn't have time to do that, because you gotta protect the kids, you know? It's like his whole character. Just protect the damn kids. Anyway, then Angry Birds Pop happens. That's about it, honestly. Just the birds trying to push back the Golden Isle invasion with Bubbles or something. Who cares? That's it. That's all there is. I don't know why I tried to fit this in with the timeline. Probably because I can. Anyway. Next game is Angry Birds Fight. So, the birds are on Golden Island, right? Meaning they're all the way across the ocean. So what's the best way of doing that? Well, create a bunch of monster pigs, of course. That'll either lure the birds over and trying to defeat them all, or they'll just capture them directly. So, monsters invade the entire ocean looking for the birds, and the birds find out about this and like, okay, we gotta destroy these monster pigs. This is just insane. They defeat at least a majority of them. They forget about the Octopig, but that's only one cutscene after this, so who cares? So yeah, the birds all go out to try and fight off the pigs and save the world or something. Except Ruby. She got left behind, but she didn't get captured. So she's going after to find her brother. So. Anyway, then King Pig's like, okay, we gotta lure these birds back to here somehow. We gotta lure their eggs and everything. So, how do we do that? Racing, obviously. Okay, with a giant cake, because, like, these birds gotta be hungry, right? When's the last time they ate? So, the birds naturally enter the race to try and get that giant cake. Now, they win the race, presumably, because, I mean, they've got Chuck on their team. But, like, it doesn't actually really matter who wins in the end, because this was all a distraction. So bad piggies could happen. There's actually a ton of connections between Bad Piggies and Angry Birds Go. I should probably mention at some point, but yeah, Ross is ordered to steal the eggs while all this is going down. So he and McCain work together to make vehicles and contraptions so kind of disguise themselves, make it look like they're training for the big race, when in reality, they're actually just going right after the eggs. So yeah. And then the birds find out about it. And so, birds get mad, start flinging themselves and popping the pigs in both not just both actually, in Angry Birds Classic, Angry Birds Friends, and Angry Birds Seasons. Oh, and I saw you in the comments of the 2023 version about how Pigini Beach ties into all of this. Pigini Beach and Pigtails. Well, first of all, Pigtails is really just a story being told of a mighty eagle, so that's probably not even canon. And second of all the old Angry Birds Friends episodes that got deleted, they presumably all take place around this time. So that's a clarification for you, buddy. I actually initially didn't include them because, again, I actually never ended up playing them. But Angry Birds Refresh allowed me to play them, so yay, I can fit them into the timeline now. That's cool. Anyway. We're going to take a quick break from the classic universe. Focus on Iceberg and Star Wars and stuff. So, sometime after everything that happened in Angry Birds Reloaded, Smooth Cheeks becomes King Pig. Well, I say Smooth Cheeks. He's actually Emperor Pigletine, whatever the heck. Who cares? Emperor Palpatine. Sue me, Disney. What are you gonna do? I made stupid Angry Birds videos? Is that what you're gonna sue me for? Anyway. The pork side makes it their life goal to search for the egg, finish Leonard and Hector Porco's mission after they... I don't know what happened to them after Danger Zone. They escaped and who knows, but the pigs in this universe are all pretty much immortal. I have my explanation for it. It's not important to the timeline right now. So, yeah, they're looking for the egg, which is what they're calling Icebird's Eggsteroid for some reason, to rule the galaxy. Well, unfortunately for them, there's also the bird side. The heroes of the galaxies. They try to stop them. But then the Star Wars prequel trilogy equivalent happens, and Redkin turns to the pork side. And the pork side wins, and the Empire gets created, giving them pretty much full freedom to search the entire galaxy, nay, universe, for Icebird's Eggsteroid. And sure enough, that's exactly what they do. They find him, and Icebird needs to get the heck out of there fast. So guess who he goes to for help? That's right, the classic universe. But then the pigs steal the Eggsteroid and the bird's egg, so all the birds team up again to save the eggs. So, yeah. And Bubbles joins in later somehow for some reason. I don't know why that happens. I don't know, maybe when Big Bork ate the Eggsteroid, it caused it to haywire a bit, causing portals to appear everywhere, and one of them just happened to be right next to Bubbles. Who knows? I don't know. But anyway. Afterwards is when the original Angry Birds Star Wars takes place. So, inspired by the classic flock, who is still there, presumably, during this, a bunch of birds decided to form a rebel alliance against the Pig Empire, including Obi-Wan from before, yeah. And so, together they defeat Emperor Piggledy and bring Rayka back to the bird side, even if it is temporary. And then he dies, like, instantly. Who cares? The original Star Wars trilogy is peak. And so is this game. The prequels are peak, too. I will stand by that opinion forever, but let's not get into that right now. Okay, back to the classic universe. So while all that was going down, a second silver was born for like a fourth egg. Presumably from all the captured birds, but who knows? I don't know. Anyway, the pigs find this fourth egg and bring it back for the king, and just as chef figure out to cook it, the egg hatches, and what I'm calling Silver 2 is born. Silver 2, at least in terms of order of timeline silvers. From what I'm concerned, this is the one and only Silver, by the way, just so we're clear. And is what I'm going to be referring to her as for the rest of the timeline, is just Silver. Anyway, the Angry Birds meet Silver, and, you know, Silver immediately realizes, oh, wait a minute, the birds are cool and the pigs are bad. I guess that makes sense, they're called the Bad Piggies. So, yeah, she joins the bird side. Not the bird side I was talking about just before, but you know the bird side this time. Anyway, then the pigs steal the eggs again. Yeah, I don't know why this was an entire game, if I'm being honest with you, but whatever. Anyway, the birds have pretty much had it at this point with all the stuff they've been through, so they're like, screw it, Leonard, Melody, probably Joe, I don't know. It's very ambiguous as to whether or not Joe's there or not, but they at least get Leonard and Melody to help with this final battle against the pigs. They're like, screw it, this is it, this is enough, we've had enough of this, just give us our eggs back already, and the world's longest chase scene proceeds. So, yeah. Anyway, then the egg spark shows up. Like I said, don't question it. It's Angry Birds. Who cares? I care. Like I said, you get the idea by now. Presumably Unicron Pig, though it's not directly clear, sends the egg spark towards Earth, and this turns the birds and pigs into Transformers characters, and the entire island into like a giant robot or something. And then the eggs get turned to Eggbots too, and they start turning everything to robot stuff. So the birds and pigs have to team up to stop the eggs, and also presumably Unicron Pig. He's like the only boss in that game, so it's like he's got to be the one behind it, all right. Also, it's Unicron. That's cool. Unicron's cool. Anyway, after all that happened, the birds would just kind of continue beating each other up in whatever tournaments they can think of. Eventually the eggs do hatch, probably. But the birds still don't like what they've been put through, so like they still continue to beat them up, so who cares? And then Ruby finally meets up with the main flock during this time. Right, that's when he returns towards the very, very end of the timeline. Because the only game with Ruby so far, and you know, you get it by now. And, yeah, that's about it. That's the entire timeline. 2024 edition. For Angry Birds. So, yeah. That's the whole thing. I hope you guys like this new channel. Trying my hardest to test something good out here. I don't know if this is actually going to go anywhere, or if this is actually going to be worse than what we were doing previously, but like I said in the video, I don't want to embarrass anyone, and like I said, the voice is getting pretty damn tiring. I honestly don't really like doing female voices in general, now that I think about it, but so, for me, as a person, this channel is my best decision. I don't know if it's gonna be, I don't know if you guys are actually gonna agree with that or not. So, we'll see, But anyway, so, going back to, I guess, what I want to end up being a tradition, reviewing Angry Birds this year, and seeing how it's going to end up being next year. You can click off now, I don't care, unless you really want to listen to this. Angry Birds this year tried to be big, I'll give them that. They were talking all about, oh, it's the 15th anniversary, it's going to go crazy all year, and then they gave us, like, a Sonic crossover, a couple of comics, and an AI-generated game. Cool, thanks, I guess. Yeah, at this point, I think we should just write an Angry Birds version. I think I should write Angry Birds parodies, the Declaration of Independence, and just say, screw you, Rovio. We're doing our own thing at this point. This franchise belongs to us now. I know we legally can't do that necessarily, but, like, you're doing nothing with it, so we may as well do everything with it. So, yeah. But Angry Birds in 2025, not looking forward to it. Not looking forward to it. These past couple of years, past like 2 to 3 years, I thought it's anything it's that. This franchise is nothing anymore. I am not expecting anything from Angry Birds anymore, so. Unless by some miracle we actually get a new game that's not AI generated. Just any game in general at this point. That's not just a stupid, what was it? Not Tetra Leak, no. Soft launch, that's it. It's not just a soft launch, an actual full game release. Probably be a bit different, but no. It's nothing. We're getting nothing. Like I said, I want to be proven wrong. I desperately want to be proven wrong, but I'm not expecting anything anymore. So thank you everybody for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one, probably, I guess. Bye-bye. Hope you like the new channel.